but a lot of what we talk about is systems and strategies, and how to apply those systems and strategies to the internet so that you can make money pretty much online, whether that's driving business to your coaching business, or whether you're selling courses or doing one-on-one consultations. Either way, whatever your lane is, we help you. We help you to get there. That's the basic part.
That's the basic part, right? I know. When I always say business coach, what do I do? It's so full, right? Yeah, a little bit of everything. I mean, it's kind of like you want to, one, make sure you're clear and concise on your business model. Two,
right.
Set up your pricing model that it's going to be effective and beneficial for you to have a business, not a side gig, not a hobby, but an actual business. And then, yeah, I give the advice, a little bit of marketing, a little bit of sales, nailing your sales closing conversation, which is key, and that's my forte. So a little bit of everything for different types of entrepreneurs need different things. So before I get started, I want to make sure we go over a little business with everybody. Guys, you'll see at the bottom, you have a little chat bubble. If you open up your chat, it'll go into a box, and you want to drop down from all, actually mine right now says all panelists. So if you guys say all panelists, that's only going to be where Kay and I can see it. But if you go to all panelists plus attendees, that's what I'd love you guys all to be on, so that when you have questions, everybody can see it, or when you're chatting with us. There's also a little Q&A box, which you can be very specific, and that'll come to our attention right away that you've asked a question. So the chat you can use to just kind of banter with us, and the Q&A you can use to put your questions as we go along. So let me ask, I know some people get shy when they are on webinars, but let me know where you guys are from and that you can hear us and see us.
Yes, that's going to be important. And I am going to find you on Facebook and share you as well.
Yes, I did it on my business page, Nancy Ganzekaufer. So there is a little delay. So guys, let us know if you can hear us. Just say yes, you can hear us.
Yep, says you're live.
Oh yay, I'm live on Facebook. Delay. So guys, let us know.
I always do that. Jean from Denver. Hey, how are you?
Hi, Jean. All good here. Okay, good, Jean.
Perfect.
And I see some people still coming on, and I know people will be watching on replay, because everyone who signed in will get a replay of this, as well as if you need to watch it, go over to Nancy Ganzekaufer on Facebook, and I'm streaming it live in there, so you can always go back and check in there as well.
Hey Grace, how are you?
Hi, Grace.
Okay, we're shared on Facebook.
Okay.
No more double attention.
Okay, we are ready to go. All right, so let's teach everyone some of, because there's so many, right? I mean, it was when I came up, I'm like, okay, which one are going to be the most valuable? But the secrets to growing a coaching business without the tech and time overwhelm. So Kay and I kind of picked 4 things each, and we're going to go back and forth and have the discussion together. And hopefully it will help you guys and ask questions along the way. So Kay, you want to get everyone started with your first tip?
Yes, so from a coaching standpoint, one of the major things that I get from a lot of coaches is labeling themselves as experts. I'm not an expert. I don't know everything. And while that may be true that you don't know everything, you are an expert in something. There's something that you know that you've mastered that you're able to then translate into teaching to someone else or guiding someone else through the process. So understanding first that you don't have to be an expert in order to be a coach. And then from there, what do you have that will suit the needs of the people that you're actually trying to coach? Because I think so many times we try to do everything. We want to teach it all, right? I'm great at sales, but I don't teach sales. Right.
I'm great at sales and I teach sales.
Right. So, but I'm great at marketing and I can teach you marketing, and not all aspects of marketing. I don't focus on the offline pieces of it. We focus on the internet. So with knowing those things, then I can better understand the needs of my customers and the clients that are coming to me for help. and understanding my strengths and then knowing what they need, I know how to match my coaching services to what they have. And I can be of better service to them. So you have to first really identify what you're good at, and then identify the needs of your customers and the people that are coming to you, and understand that even if you don't know everything, there is something that you do know, and that piece makes you an expert, and you tune into that and you drill that home, and that is what you build your coaching business off of. And then you find supplemental people around you to help you in the areas where you're not as strong, that will complement your business. Make sense?
100%. And you know what? It really is key. And even though this webinar is about tech, let me tell you what Kay is saying is really true. Because what happens if you don't get clear and concise on what you do best and what you can offer people, basically what you do is you start buying all this tech.
All the stuff.
All
that
this
has
stuff.
Nothing to do with your business.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, that one's doing that, let me buy that. But you're going to get into tech overwhelm when you aren't clear on what you are offering and to whom. Really clear.
Correct.
Because, and I did it myself. Did you do it in the beginning?
I absolutely did it. I listened to so many podcasts and so many webinars about what I needed for my business, and this technology would do this, and this email system would do this, and this social media platform would do this. I was spread so thin in technology alone that I couldn't focus on mastering the craft, because I'm distracted and trying to figure out how to make these tools work. And 90% of the tools that I had were not relevant to my business. And even if they were, I could do without them until I got further along in business. So once you get clear on what it is that you offer and who you're helping, that's going to tell you where you need to be online to market your business. It's going to tell you what type of systems you need to have in place in order to market your business. I've got customers that work with clients that are over 60 years old. To try to force them into an online model is unrealistic.
So true.
So if you've got these fancy systems to try to support your business, but your audience is not going to be able to receive it and be able to participate with you in it, then you're wasting your money. And now you're mastering this complicated system that's not even servicing your business well, that's actually becoming a cost versus an investment in your business. And it's all because you weren't clear on what it was that you offered, who you were offering it to, and then you can determine what you need from a technology standpoint in order to support those goals.
Perfect tip. And one that I fell into in the beginning, so I love that. Yeah, I'm like, oh, that looks interesting, and I could do that with that and this with that. And when I finally got really clear, I cut down all my systems to the one that matches my business model and to whom I offer. So,
absolutely.
Okay, so that was your tip number one. My tip, or tip number two for you guys, and I hope that all makes sense to you. If you guys are if we're resonating with you, just give us a thumbs up, or I don't think you can do thumbs up on this, but give us a yes.
Yeah, a one in a comment. That's what I usually do. Just put a one in the comment if that makes sense.
Put a one in the comment that you understand what we're saying about being clear and concise. Okay, so tip number two, thank you, Grace, is use social media that's authentic to you. So one of the mistakes I made is like, okay, I need to be a blogger. I need to be on Instagram. I need to be on Facebook. I need to send an email to my list every single day. And I rolled that out all at the beginning, right? And I thought, I'm just going to combust. There's no way.
Right.
But when I really sat back and went, what registers with me? Am I a better talker? Am I a writer? Am I wanting to spend a couple hours a day on Instagram, like in the beginning when you're trying to grow it?
Right.
And I just pulled back and I just went, okay, I'm a better talker than I am a writer. It's the bottom line. I resonate more with people when I talk. I don't have to have a script when I talk.
Right.
Yet I could sit down and now I'm better at the writing. But again, in the beginning, and how not to get tech overwhelmed, don't try to do everything, right?
Right.
Be authentic on your social media. Decide what you do best that doesn't cause you a tremendous amount of anxiety. I mean, yes, right? We have to push ourselves out of our comfort zone sometimes anyway, because that's where we're going to be successful. But in the beginning, start with something that feels more authentic to you. Or if nothing feels authentic to you, then you want to look to see, where is my target audience? Kind of like what you said before, over 47 years old. Normally Facebook is a better place, right? Roughly. Under 47 years old, they're a little bit more Instagrammers. So if you have to push yourself somewhere, do it based on your demographic. But in the beginning, just to take away a little that tech overwhelm, just pick what social media is authentic to you and go with that in the beginning. And then you can build a second or third layer once you're comfortable and consistent on the one platform.
And if there's anything that I could add to that, the one platform will serve you in your business for several years. And I know that there's a misconception that you need to be in so many different places. And, you know, we're pushed. And I like to tell people, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. But at the same token, if you know your attention span and you know what you can handle, just like you said. So if there is a platform that sits better with you, then you focus all in on that platform and find out everything that you can learn about how that platform can support your business. And you just put blinders on to everything else. You don't listen to me when I tell you to get 2 or 3 platforms. Don't listen to the coach. Don't listen to the next coach that tells you that you need several different places. Just focus and really get into a place that, like you said, this is for me. And this is what I have to manage. And my business is not technology. And if it is, then yeah, you've got to learn some different stuff. But if your business is not technology and coaching in technology is not what you do, then that should not be the thing that consumes most of your time.
Correct. And I love that. You know what? Pick one platform, learn everything you can.
Go for it.
Learn everything you can about it. And do it consistently and do it well, and take the other stuff off your plate. You know what? I listen to podcasts too, but a lot of my clients do come to me with, I'm listening to this podcast and I want to do everything and I don't know where to start. And I think to really—
And then you get frozen, you stick because you don't want to do it wrong and you're scared, you're afraid of making mistakes. And then everything just starts to come down on you. And now consequently, you're not moving forward because you've got too much going on. So just clarity and peace of mind, just get it out and focus, get really, really focused on what's going to work for you.
And what a better use of your time, right? For people who are struggling with their time management, doing one platform, doing it well is fabulous. And then I have tip later on that will take that one platform and multiply it.
Kind of multiply, absolutely.
All right, so tip number 3.
All right, so after that, once you've kind of determined that, you know, this is my lane right here, I want you to use the technology that you already have. Use what you've already got, because more than likely, if you've used what you've already got, it's serving you already. And it's comes second nature. You don't have to figure out what to do. Prime example, Facebook groups. A lot of us as coaches, we're creating group coaching programs where people are coming in and we're doing masterminds, and we already communicate in groups.
Yes.
Second nature to us, whether you're communicating in groups for personal use or whether you're doing it to help build your business, you're familiar with the Facebook group. There are 999 ways, I promise you, that you could build a community online. You've got platforms that you can pay for. You've got course sites that can house your courses, but you've got to learn them. They all come with learning curves.
Yes.
And it all comes back to simplicity and having something in place and looking at it and saying, how can I utilize this to support my business model? Effective way to run your group programming, even though I will tell you to house your information somewhere else, is a Facebook group. Facebook groups have come so far from a coaching standpoint. You've got the opportunity to create units in these groups, which kind of groups your content together. You can manage discussions. There's analytics, so you can see who's participating. And if you're not the strongest in technology and you don't want to learn how to build a landing page, you don't want to learn how to build out a course, a membership area for your courses, then focus on what you already have and you likely have these resources at your hands, at your fingertips, and you just evaluate what you already have and say, how can I help this to better serve my business? And if it doesn't, then of course you want to look at some similar options that might be easier. And we'll talk more, when we get to the point where you just can't do it, that's later. But if you can manage it, utilize what you already have until you get to a place where you've earned some revenue in your business and your business is financially supporting itself. Then you can start to expand into some other areas of technology that help to make a better experience. But you're going to need your coins for other things, I promise you. And if all of your resources, and technology is expensive, it's not cheap. So if all of your resources are going into technology and tools, you're limiting yourself on how you can use your resources to better grow your business, such as Facebook advertising, such as Google advertising, such as trade shows. You're taking away from the money that you could be using that's actually going to provide a return on investment versus actually putting it into a tool. So save your money on the tool so that you can use it to further promote your business elsewhere.
100% amen on that one, because I cannot tell you how many clients in our first couple of sessions, I'll go, okay, what are you paying for? Mm-hmm. What are your business expenses? And excuse me, they have a ton, some have less. But when I start to hear what they're paying for, I'm like, do you know those have overlapping functions?
And how does it pay you back?
But you're paying for two programs, and one of them does the same function, right? So you think you need another one because you just didn't learn the one you have, which actually rolls right into my next tip, which is learn one technology at a time. So once you determine, right? So we've talked about identifying who you serve, what you do. We've talked about using social media that's authentic to you. We've talked about utilizing the technology you already have and like Facebook groups, that's free. There's ways you can utilize that when you're coaching. But once you determine you do need something, learn it, right? If you have Constant Contact or Aweber or MailChimp, you know what? Learn it. Right? Really learn it. Just focus for a week. Say, I'm going to learn get it done. Learn everything you can about it, because if you buy 3 programs at the same time,
you're not going to learn them all at one time.
And you're not going to know if there's overlapping functions with anything. So that actually is my tip number 4, is just one technology at a time and learn it. And if you have to do the trainings that are online, Google, YouTube, right? There's a ton of free training online too when it comes to the technology. You could really learn so much.
And lots of them will have people that will call you and walk you through it for the first time for free.
Yes. And people don't even reach out and do that. It's one of those avoidance behaviors. Right. I'm just overwhelmed. And this is what I hear a lot too. I just want to hire somebody to do that. And that's okay. We're going to talk about that. However, as a business coach, I always say, I want you to have a good overview before you hand it over. Right.
Because you need to know how to manage it.
Exactly. How do you know if someone's doing what they're supposed to do, or if they come into a problem, or they make a mistake?
How do you direct them through that problem?
Right. Or maybe do the quick little tweaks yourself, as opposed to having to pay someone to make
and pay somebody else to fix it.
So you can do the little things yourself because you've already done some training on it. Right. You can really do it yourself in the beginning if it's not too complicated and so not something you have time for. But then when you pay someone for it, you really know how to direct them, check their work, and make sure everything's functioning properly.
Absolutely. That is a great segue kind of into what we're going to talk about next as far as the outsourcing piece is concerned, because I do believe in outsourcing. So while we're telling you don't pay for unnecessary stuff, I do think that there comes a time where you do need to pass things along
100%
to someone else that can get it done quicker and more efficient than what you are. But there are certain things in technology that you outsource, and there are certain things that you keep internally to what you're trying to do. So for an example, if you are using the internet to build your business and you're doing presentations, you have a certain aesthetic that you want for your presentation that's going to be in line with your branding, then of course you want to outsource that. Do you want to spend your time learning Photoshop or learning Illustrator or learning InDesign if that's not your strength? Absolutely not.
Definitely not.
No. So at that time, you're like, yes, whether I know how to do this or not, it is time to hire a designer to get this done, because I don't feel like it is the best use of your time to spend 30 minutes, an hour learning how to put together a presentation that somebody else could do with their eyes closed easily. You outsource that type of thing so that you can spend time in further developing your program. If there is something, and I don't believe in outsourcing social media right away, I think that is something that you can manage on your own. It's expensive. That truly understands what they're doing and that truly understands how to get the return that you need. So outsourcing social media is not an option, but there are some elements of social media that you can hire people for. And that might be to actively engage your community. If you're using Facebook, like you have a VA, you put your VA in place to handle some of that administrative stuff that technology requires, that doesn't support your business model, doesn't support your skills, your gifts in working in your business model. So if it's returning emails and contracting and things of that nature, then absolutely you put somebody in place that can handle that. So you can spend your time in education doing stuff like this, going to seminars that teach you how to better your skill, going out and getting more clients, doing a little marketing, being a little social to get more clients, just a little, and leave those things to someone else. But managing your email, like Infusionsoft, I get it all the time. Infusionsoft, Entreport, these huge email systems that do great at marketing to small business owners like you and I that don't have thousands of employees. Oh, it's easy to manage with just yourself. That's a lie.
I was looking at you like, please tell me you're going to say that's a lie. I'm like, whoa.
That doesn't exist, and it's costly. And it not only costs you your revenue, it costs you your time. So stick with MailChimp, stick with ActiveCampaign, stick with Aweber. If you don't have a list of over 10,000, 20,000 people on your list, forget it. Don't do it, because you're not supporting your business from that angle. So outsource where necessary and keep the other things in-house so that you can spend time in building your business.
100%. And when you were talking about outsourcing with the social media, one of the things that I do is I outsource the graphic part for my Instagram, right? So it's a very simple Instagram. It's a motivational one, but I have one of my VAs pulls my own words from my own content. Like, she may end up listening to this, and Nancy gave a couple of good nuggets in there, right? So she takes out the nuggets and then she sends it. So I have one person that sort of culls through my content, but again, I did it myself in the beginning. And then I have another VA who just puts a graphic behind it and schedules it for me. So, but that was a while till I did that. In the beginning, I just thought, let me do something simple. People get stuck in perfectionism, right? It has to be perfect. It has to look fabulous. I'll only grow big if it's great. And then you don't do anything. Right. So outsource the things that are not your strong point, just like Kay said, but not until you have a little bit of idea of how you do it yourself, right?
And pretty does not mean profitable, okay? Pretty is just pretty.
I know.
Okay.
Listen, I'm getting comments on my background here, but I'm moving soon. So this won't be my background forever. And I'm like, hey, people, if I waited to have the perfect, most beautiful background, I would never do my Facebook Lives in my private group. I would never go live on webinars. And I'm perfectly profitable and growing regardless of my wall back here. Right?
Exactly. So pretty does not mean profitable. It simply means pretty. And if pretty is your goal, then work on that while you are working on your business and getting to where you need to be. While people are swiping their credit cards, while people are paying for your consultations, while people are paying you for your long-term strategies, pretty is not what makes you profitable. It's not what makes people pull out their credit cards. It's nice, but it doesn't get you paid. I wasn't pretty for a couple of years, okay?
You're always pretty.
Didn't matter. I was still getting paid. And I make thousands of dollars a month, thousands. And it's not perfect. It's me, it's my personality, it's the things that we've talked about, it's understanding who I'm talking to, how I can help them, understanding my messaging, some other stuff that we can talk about for days and years later, but not spending time getting caught up and trying to make pretty graphics and pretty presentations. If you want it pretty, pay for pretty, so that you can then go and concentrate on actually providing a good service, period.
100%. As coaches, really, what do you need, guys? You need to be able to connect with people and coach them.
Right? That's it.
So you can start out with the bare minimum that you need technology wise, and what do you need to coach people, right? Do you coach over the phone? Then you need a phone, which you all have anyway. If you want the video coaching, so you can do that on Skype.
Right.
You can eventually get Zoom. I think Zoom is still free.
Zoom is free as long as it's just one-on-one.
Right. So easy breezy there. Facebook group where you can put content if you're doing a group.
Right.
I mean, there's so many free things. And then once you get more advanced and more paying clients, just like Kay said, then you can up your technology. And I'm going to reiterate, one at a time, and learn it, and then decide. You'll learn it or get the overview, and then decide. I've learned the overview, but it's not my genius zone. So let me
put somebody in place to manage that.
Exactly. Or continue it yourself if you happen to like doing it. I hope that makes sense.
It does
not mean profitable. Okay. I love that line. I know. I'm going to write that down too. All right. So my next tip kind of flows. I think we're flowing pretty well here, don't you? Make a plan of step by step.
Right.
You know, I see so many people and coach so many people who just want to jump to, I have a course.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I have a course. And I made that mistake, right? I made a course and I'm thinking, okay, crickets, because I think for coaches, it's something that you need to start out. And what's worked great for me, you go one-on-one. Start with the one-on-one. This is where your technology overwhelm can really be reduced.
Right.
Because if you're doing one-on-one, it's a lot cheaper to pull off, right? There's plenty of inexpensive programs you can use to do the billing, to do the coaching, and to do sharing and communicating.
Right.
Once you're full up with one-on-ones and you can handle no more, then you open up a group. Right. And now you have one-on-ones and then a group. Then once you have a group and you've learned, first of all, you've made money from your one-on-one, so now you can invest maybe a little bit in let's say the paid version of Zoom, because now you want to do a group, right? So go step by step. I have a frog in my throat today. Go step by step and make a plan, but don't think it's going to happen overnight.
It does not happen overnight.
100% it does not happen overnight, we can tell you. And anyone online who's telling you I can make you $10,000 a month by,
tomorrow,
3 moons or, or tomorrow.
Telling you the truth.
They're not telling you the truth. You know what? It was a good year and a half minimum, right? And then to bump up to that next level, it takes another 6 months to a year.
Right.
It depends.
Because you have what's called scaling. And in that scaling is where the learning comes in. It's where the investing in new stuff comes in. And that's a period of growth that sometimes will set you back before it sets you forward. And I think it's important to know that. And you said something really, really good there, is that coaching is a long-term strategy.
Yes. And
if you haven't made $5 from your business, don't think that you're going to go from 5 to 10,000 tomorrow. It just doesn't work that way. You've got to learn your own coaching style. You've got to learn these processes, and then you've got to find the people that are willing to pay you for what you know. And that takes time, and you've got to be willing to put in the time in order to do that.
It's true, because even when you think, well, this is who I want to coach, right? So now you start to try to get that audience. But then somewhere along the way you go, maybe that actually isn't the audience that is attracted to me from my messaging. And maybe I really do have another skill that I should be putting out there. And it's amazing how that journey is not a failure, that
Nope.
you failed on the original thing you thought you were coaching on. That's actually a huge win.
Absolutely.
Right? Because now you know who your people are.
And that's one of the greatest parts that I love about coaching, is that coaching is always evolving. When I started coaching, I started as a business coach, teaching people how to set up business systems and do all the back end stuff to their business. And over time, that evolved into just internet marketing. How do you take your business now that it's set up online and find people that are going to pay you for your services? And from a technology standpoint, you've got to be okay with the evolution and not try to stick yourself into your own corner where you're not allowing yourself to grow. And sometimes that means, you start one way and then you have to change into something else. But if you are so caught up in all of this stuff that you're using to run your business, you don't even allow yourself room to grow at that point, because you're stuck in these tools and these contracts and this system that you've created that's no longer working for you. So that's really, really important. And the one-on-one thing is, one-on-one is bread and butter for any coach. I don't care what they tell you. You can run group programs, they're supplemental, but you can charge so much more for your one-on-one time because it's an intimate space and you can command high dollars for your one-on-one time. Group coaching is hard. It is not easy. So you have to maintain retention. That group, you've got numbers that you've got to meet every month. You've got sales goals that you've got to meet every month. And those numbers are higher than what they are when you're working with people one-on-one. They require more technology, which requires more of your time, which requires more people. So it's not as easy as one may think. So when you said, don't let people tell you that you can just make $10,000 from group coaching and it's okay, unless you are a tech superstar and technology is just easy for you, I'm telling you that group coaching is not the easiest way to go when you're getting started. Now, like you said, you evolve and you absolutely can pull yourself out of one-on-one into group and make the same type of money, but just know that you've got to have a huge audience and you've got to have a lot of people that are interested in what you want. And that is hard to do. That's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
And you have to really know what you want to teach. So when you start out with one-on-one, you may have in mind what this person needs from you, but as you're coaching them, you're realizing that they need more of this area. They need a little bit less than what you thought they were going to need.
And you can shift.
And you shift. And as you shift, and now you get a second and third and fourth client, and now you go, everybody seems to need the same thing. And that's not the thing it's going to be, right? So now you're developing as a coach as well. But you're still able to charge them because you're ahead of them and you still have a ton to teach, but it may just not be exactly what you think. So if you had jumped to create a program, you might not have created the program based on what they really need.
On what people needed, which is what we talked about in the very beginning. It might not have been exactly what they needed.
Exactly. So, okay. So you do the one-on-one step by step. That's my tip, not to jump to the end. Again, technology wise too, it'll crush you if you just try to get all the technology. Let me figure out how to use a Teachable and upload a course. And then where does the course sit? And how do I promote it?
And how do I write a sales page for the course? And how do I write a video sales letter? And how do I market to get traffic to the course? Because now you're talking about traffic and you're talking about online traffic and SEO and all this stuff. Like it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. So you want to go the step by step and go, I know my brain is wanting to run, to sprint to the end, but it really is not a sprint. It's a marathon, slow and steady, uphill, right? Until you get to achieve everything you wanted to achieve. You've got coaching clients that are getting more profitable or whatever your model is, right? I'm a business coach, so I'm always looking at everyone's profitability and sales numbers. But whatever your goal is as a coach, are your people getting to where they need to be? Are you understanding their needs and you're able to get them there? Now you can start a group. And then after after, like you said, have a large following.
Right.
So anyway, that's my tip. Step by step, people.
And the last part of that, I think, is once you're to that point, because this is a process, right? You've got to get to that point. And once you're to that point, at that point, I think you're then ready to start exploring how the internet can start to make you more money without you having to work as much.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the reservations that I see a lot of coaches have is that I don't have a huge audience. I don't have thousands of people following me. I don't have this type of influence, which is okay. But there are ways around that. There are ways around that. And I kind of want to talk about the ways around it. And there's 3 things that I have seen work really, really well, depending on the coach and depending on how they are.
Oh, do I need to take notes? Hold on.
Yes.
Just in case I'm not doing them yet. Okay, I'm ready.
And I want to share those 3 things with you because I think this is a great way for you to start looking at how you can start to scale into the direction of courses and group programs. So the first thing that I want to kind of share with you, and Nancy, you're already doing a great job, is collaborations, finding other businesses that will enhance what you do well. So Nancy, as a coach, has this thing, like now, we're 2 coaches, we coach in different areas, but I have something that's going to make her audience better. She has something that's going to make my audience better. We come together, we share information.
Yes.
And now Nancy has access to my audience. I have access to Nancy's audience, and it's a win-win for both of us. And you have to look at those things when you're collaborating online and not be afraid to allow other people to help you help your business, because online, it is very hard to do it by yourself without having the revenue to push it. You can do it through paid advertising and through some other tactics, but it's hard to go alone. So you want to find other business that have a complement to your business so that you can leverage what they have and they can leverage what you have. And the possibility of revenue coming out of that relationship goes way higher, because 2 things happens when that happens. First of all, the audience that you introduce to the collaboration, trust them because they came at your recommendation.
Correct.
And then the second part of that is that we're recommending one another. So if something happens and I'm like, okay, you need sales help, then let's go to Nancy because I trust Nancy. And I know that Nancy's got your best interest at heart. Nancy and I have had conversations. This is your girl. So when you get to Nancy, or when the customers get to you in that case, the conversation is done. There's no sales conversation that you have to have, because it's already looked at. Recommendation of Nancy. Help you have sales calls because the collaboration is doing the sales for you. So you collaborate and you find good collaborations, and they don't have to be huge collaborations, guys. As a coach, if you're priced appropriately, you just need one good lick to set you up for a month or 2, and you're good. So you focus on the quality of the collaboration versus the size. So many times people want to go after these huge audiences, and that's a lot of competition, 1. 2, it takes forever to get there. You can get there, but it might be months before you're able to actually present yourself. And by that time, you've got bills that have stacked up. There are things in your business that are required of you. So you find the collaborations that are realistic for you to happen, that can happen quickly. And then through their recommendations, we'll then send you business. So collaboration is key. And whether you like to talk, whether it's audio, however you want to do it, you make sure that those collaborations turn into partnerships so that they help the both of your businesses. Tip number 2, podcasting is hot. I don't care where you have been in the past year, it's hot and it's not going anywhere. And if I tell you that podcast interviews are probably the number 1 driver to my business, it is something about being in a person's ear while they're writing, while they're doing housework. It is the easiest way to consume information without having to be tied down. This requires you to sit and focus. But a podcast, I like to call it car university. You can go to car university every single day when you're riding, when you're cleaning, when you're doing things at home. It's the easiest way to consume information. And it is something about the power of being on iTunes and Stitcher, and it automatically gives you an authority that sometimes takes a little longer, even as authors and books. Those things will give you automatic authority, but you have to sell the book. You have to do the work to do the sales. A podcast interview, if you can get on and again, quality of audience, not size of audience, quality of audience, making sure that that audience is a group of people that are going to need what you have, and that podcast host is not offering a service that conflicts with what you have.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So get on podcast, be interviewed, not start a podcast. That's work. Okay. Get interviewed.
That's work.
I want to make sure I clarify that. Don't go starting podcasts with no audience, because who's listening? Okay. You want to go to get interviewed on the podcast. Get as many interviews as possible. Interviews on podcasts probably are going to take you further than TV interviews. I know a lot of people like to get press as seen on all of these places. It's hot for the moment that you're there. And a lot of times, if you want to get on TV, you've got to have some stuff behind you that you're ready to give away to an audience that's going to cost you money. Okay. So focus on ways that you can do this that doesn't cost you anything. And podcasts are a great way to do that. Being interviewed on podcast. If there is something that you're listening to that you love, that speaks to you, see if there is something that you offer in an interview style that would be of benefit to their listeners, and pitch it to that podcast owner. They're always looking for people to interview. Podcast people are not just sitting with 100%. People to interview in their back pocket. They always need somebody to interview. I promise you. So position yourself.
I have to say, look, I want to jump in quickly though on your two things so far, and I know you have a third one, which is fabulous. The collaborations, 100%. Are the way to go. Like we're talking now, and I said to you, how would you like to be on my weekend wind down Facebook live show that's every Friday at 4:30? And you're like, okay, sounds good, right? So then we'll reach even more. And there is no such, I don't believe there's such thing as competition. I don't believe in that word.
Right.
My voice will resonate with some people. What my messaging is, yours will resonate with some people. And if people have been on the fence for me and I'm not quite the right person for them, and then they hear you, and that's more the target that they need right now to grow their business, they'll go to you. And if they're listening in and they're your audience, yet they not quite ready to hire you, or they've hired you already and they still need more, they might come to me. So 100%, absolutely, that's a great tip. And the podcast tip is funny because I've recently been getting on a lot of podcasts. And did you ever watch your email list and suddenly go, okay,
what happened?
Why did it just, or your statistics on your website? I'm like, okay, I have 110 views on my website today and I had 10 yesterday. You know, like
what happened?
Right. On my email list, suddenly 50 people are opting in for my free giveaways from my website. And I'm like, I must have been released on one of those and they didn't tell me. And last week it happened. I still don't know where it came from.
Yep. I get emails and the thing about podcasts is that they're evergreen. So you could do a podcast interview a year ago and someone just discovers that podcast. They just found it and they listen to your show. I get Instagram inboxes, Facebook messages, emails. Oh my God, I heard you on this podcast. You were awesome. How do I work with you? And I'm like, when did I do that interview? And 100%. I have to go back and remember. So they are powerful because they stay there. And not only are they on the person's social media, they're on iTunes, which is highly searched for people that are specifically looking for that information. If someone listens to a podcast that you did an interview on, it's because they are specifically looking for the information that you're talking about.
Well, and yes, though, and no, because I was on a podcast the other day and it was just about women's journeys into success, right? So a business coach, I don't know who's listening to that podcast, but I have quite a story. So I was like, you know what? I want to tell my story on this woman's podcast, and I never know who might be listening.
You never know.
Or it might be someone they go, you got to listen to this woman and she's for you. Like, so it wasn't even doesn't necessarily have to be exactly about your business because.
Right. That's not what I meant. What I meant is the subject matter that you're talking about. They're looking for. Talk
about yourself. All right. You have another one in that category.
And then the third part of that, if you are a writer, Blogging is not dead, and not necessarily hosting your own, although I do feel like you need to have your own blog. That is important. But blogging in places that already have traffic, that already have followings, that already have an audience of people that are reading them. Medium, go there, create an account, talk about what you want to talk about. Putting your blog on places like FeedBurner so that you can show up on Yahoo News and Feedly, so that there's organic traffic going to your site that is specific to what you're looking for. Those people are looking for, if you can muster the courage to write. I know that writing is not everybody's jam, but it helps with SEO. Yes, it does. But I've also noticed that when I blog for other businesses, those other businesses then become what we are to one another right now. They're confirming my genius. So when I'm blogging for Relevant Entrepreneur, or when I'm blogging for Women CEO, or when I'm blogging for, and I'm not talking about we're not talking about Huffington Post, okay? They don't even do that anymore. So you can forget it. You're not getting on.
They don't do that anymore.
That's over. I think all of us have had it. Well, and I won't say all of us. I have written for Huffington Post. It was a great experience. It works. But again, that platform is huge. I'm talking about other businesses that are serving people that are in the audience of what you need, and going and sharing your information there, because they have an audience of people that have already connected, that those eyeballs have not seen you yet. So it's new eyeballs. And when you with me, you hear me talk about this all the time. You want new eyeballs on your business. Doesn't matter where they come from. You just want them to be new. So if
100%
get in front of people's audience with a set of new eyeballs, and they confirm your genius by allowing you to blog on their platform, you are now an expert. People trust you. They're going to go and look for you. They're going to go back to your website, and they're going to do their research. And if you are properly set up online and there is an immediate need, they will inquire about how to work with you. So if you can muster up the courage to do so, then do it. If blogging and writing is not your thing, don't worry about it. Go get interviewed today. Go find your 10 podcasts that you want to be on, and go figure out how to pitch yourself. And if you need help, let me know. We got you.
And the same thing when we combine your first and your third, blog exchange and collaborations.
Absolutely.
Right? So
absolutely.
It's okay. You have a blog, right? So yeah, you know what? I post blogs. If Kay posts blogs, we could say to each other, you know what? Let's do a blog exchange. You write about something, I'll write about something. It goes on each other's sites. We send an announcement. Blog exchanges with people, just like collaborations like these webinars or Facebook Lives or things of that nature, collaborations of all kinds. And name those sites again, because Grace is asking, is FeedBurner one of them? I didn't know about that.
Is a Google tool. So FeedBurner will allow you to put your blog into a place where feed aggregators like Yahoo, MSN, AOL, Feedly, your blog post will show up in their content.
Is that going to be a tech overwhelm thing?
It should not. No, your okay, your blog.com/feed. So all you have to do,
because your audio went out.
Sorry. It's going to be yourwebsite.com or yourblog.com/feed. So you're going to go to feedburner.google.com, add your feed, and then from there, just follow the prompts. And it takes care of everything for you. It takes about 15 minutes to set it up, and you're good to go.
That is a beautiful thing. I do not do that myself, and I'm hoping my virtual assistant who's listening and monitoring this webinar just wrote that down, or I'll be going to watch the replay.
It takes about 10 minutes. Follow the prompt, set it up, do everything that it tells you to do. It's free, $99, doesn't cost you anything. So go, and it's just another way to get organic traffic for your site. And as a result, you'll start to see more organic traffic coming into your site. Google traffic will increase, Bing traffic will increase, Yahoo traffic will increase, just from simple stuff. And that's the easy part of what you can do.
Okay, well, that takes us to my last tip, which is, again, falls right into kind of the way you're going, is content reuse.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody said to me, like, how are you everywhere? And I went, well, it's really not that hard. Technically, I'm really not everywhere, meaning I don't create new content for everything. So, for example, these weekend wind down Facebook Live show every week that I do, I do it on my personal page. I share it on my business page. And then I share it in my group, Actionable Entrepreneurs. Now it's 3 places. Then, when the broadcast is over, I download it to my computer.
Yep.
I upload it for free to YouTube.
Yep.
Then I upload it for, I might have paid a little bit for this. I honestly don't remember, to Podbean. Podcast as a MP4. Thank you. So I convert it, and it was not hard for me to learn, and I am very tech challenged. Very tech challenged. Now I have people doing it for me, but I did it myself in the beginning.
Absolutely.
And then I have it uploaded to my website.
Absolutely.
So now look at that 1 hour a week where it all goes.
And it creates content for everywhere.
Right. Now, I don't have an official podcast where I have an intro and an outro, and it's just the audio version of my weekly show goes up there.
Absolutely.
And what I could even turn this into. I could do it with this, right? Turn this in. Maybe I will. I'll upload it to my website. I'll upload it to Podbean. Reusing your content gives you such relief.
Absolutely.
Right? So whatever you do well, reuse it.
Reuse it.
And if you like to write, a little tip for content reuse, write an email to your list if that's where you first tend to start. Turn that into a blog post.
Yep.
Your blog then goes up on your website. You pull sentences from there for your Facebook content. You can schedule a post right through Facebook, and you can even pull sentences if you do Twitter or Instagram. So again, we're talking about a lot once you're there.
Right.
Wherever you are at now, whatever content you're producing, there's absolutely ways that you can reuse it.
Absolutely. So what you're talking about is something that I like to call a social media takedown. So basically, and this saves so much time, and you're absolutely right. You can spend an hour and create content for weeks and not have to do anything else. I'm going to even add a little more sugar to that pie.
Ooh, please do.
If you're on Facebook, you have the ability to grab your Facebook video and embed it on your blog without having to download it, without having to do anything. And this does 2 things for you. 1, it increases the views on your Facebook page if it's on your blog because it's the actual post. 2, it saves you time. It's literally grab the embed code, put it in your blog, boom, you're done. Okay. So this helps with that whole organic reach thing that we all got going on. It helps with that. Then, of course, yes, you take it, put it on YouTube, video, anywhere that'll take audio and video for free, you place it there. And you don't have to be active here. It's not like you have to be building a community on YouTube. You want it there because somebody might find it. The possibility of them finding it is high. So if they run into you, but they won't see your blog or they don't know anything about you, so they don't know to go to your Facebook page, then what better way to connect with them than in a place where they already use it? So
it just happened to me yesterday. I got a Facebook message through my business page.
Yep.
Hey, Nancy, I just found your YouTube video on how to like business pages as your business page.
Yep.
And thank you so much. I'm still having a little issue though. So, needed clarification on one thing that might have changed since I did that video, but she found me on YouTube. Absolutely. I thought I got found on YouTube. So that was, that was the content we use.
Absolutely. And think about it. When you do your live videos, you prepare, right? You've got notes that you take down, just like now we've got notes, we've got points. Those points are so easy to turn into quotes that you take the points, put in a quote, boom. Now you've got Instagram content. You've got Twitter content. You've got Google Plus stuff. You've got stuff you can put over in LinkedIn. You can take your YouTube video, place it on LinkedIn, and it will play directly inside of LinkedIn. They never have to leave LinkedIn, but it goes directly to your YouTube views. So
yes, I do that with LinkedIn too. I forgot to mention that. Everything I write, blog, Posted on LinkedIn, as pretty much everywhere.
Everywhere. Yep.
Free.
Google Plus, do not sleep on Google Plus. I know that it's confusing because I still don't understand it, but for whatever reason, when I post on Google Plus sends traffic to my website.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have no community on Google Plus, but you post on Google and it sends traffic to your website. So do not forget about Google.
Well, we are just at the top of the hour. I was like, I wonder if we're going to make a full hour, but I could talk for another hour about this. So let me know, guys, was this helpful for you today? And we both have an offer for you, which I forgot to mention in the beginning. Stay till the end because we both have an offer for you. Yeah. But let me know that this was helpful today. And Kay, you want to let them know what your offer is, and then I'll let them know what my offer is.
Yes. So what I want to make available to you guys, anybody that's listening here live or is on the replay, and you've got questions after the replay, I've got 15-minute discovery calls that I offer to anybody that's going into a coaching relationship. Okay. And the point of the discovery call is for me to analyze where you are in business to make sure I can help you, because I'm technology, right? So you might not be ready for it yet. And if you're not ready, then I'll give you some alternatives to help you get ready. But I want to talk to you first to make sure you're ready to go. And you can do that. We just put it in the notes.
Yeah, Kate and my VA just put it in the chat.
Yep, so it's there. You can go and schedule a 15-minute call with me. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. But more importantly, I just want to get to know you, know a little bit about your business, see where you are. And then that way I can determine what or if I can do to help you. Perfect.
And what I have for you guys today is a reduced cost 50, and I do that because everyone tells me my accent sounds like 15. So 15-minute success strategy call for coaches and entrepreneurs, where I'll be able to spend a full 50 minutes with you, getting a quick assessment on where your business at, where you're stuck, and I'll be able to coach you for a solid 50 minutes. It's $97. It's a reduced cost for people who I have not spoken to yet. And boy, can I move people in that 50 minutes. So if you're confused, having trouble making decisions, can't figure out your direction, or getting clear and concise on who your ideal client is, that's the starting point. Or you're not making enough money and you're like, why aren't I making enough money to run my business even though I have clients? Or understanding your ladder of services, like what services do you offer? You know, that's all within my specialty. And nailing your sales closing conversation, I love that. I have a whole formula. So anyway,
it's good. I've heard it. I think I heard it on Luann's podcast. It's really, really good. Y'all should.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I've been on that podcast a couple of times. I keep getting, what am I teaching there? But yeah, I came up with my desire sales formula, how you take people from your first hello to getting them to be a client of yours, and how, you know, some people really back away from that sales conversation, but I teach it in a way that it's just not salesy.
Absolutely.
It's conversational, it's easy, it flows, and it all relates to that acronym desire, so it's easy to remember. So thank you so much, Kay.
You are welcome. This was fun. I'm glad I came.
I'm glad you came too. So yeah, we're streaming live on my business Facebook page, and you shared it on your Facebook page as well.
I shared inside of my inner circle, so I've got some girls over there that might need you. So yeah, I'm hoping that they watch it. Well, let me share it on my business page, but I can go in and online and figure it out.
Yeah, and if you guys found this helpful today, hop onto our pages and find it and share it in your circles if you feel like it would be helpful for someone else, because our offers are for anyone who, you know, listens to this whole webinar and they're open for a while. We are here to help you guys make money.
Absolutely.
Make money. So thank you so much. It's on the hour now. Can you provide a list of free resources for us, i.e. Zoom, Facebook, anymore? I don't have a free PDF that I ever put together for that. Do you, Kay?
Not from a technology standpoint, but I can tell you from, if you're looking to do, are you looking, John, is it Jean or John? Please correct me. If you're looking to do video conferencing like this, Zoom, I recommend, it's at Jean. Okay, it's at the top of the list, okay? Zoom is free as long as it's one-on-one. Now, if you decide that you want to broadcast to Facebook, you do have to pay for that service.
Yeah, like this is the webinar version.
Right, this is the webinar version of Zoom. But Facebook, you can record on Facebook. Use your phone like this, okay? Use your phone like this to start. You can actually record on Facebook, do Facebook Lives from your desktop. Now,
not the joint ones, though.
No, not the joint ones, just the one by yourself. There's BeLive.tv that will allow you to broadcast directly to Facebook. They have a free version and a paid version. You've got OBS, but OBS is technology.
I tried OBS. I was like, I can't do this.
Right. So if you're not technology savvy, I would leave it alone. So I do Zoom, Facebook directly, or BeLive. It's the easiest ways for you to go if you're talking about broadcasting directly to Facebook.
Right. Oops. And again, sharing content, where is free? Google Plus.
Yep.
YouTube.
You're welcome.
LinkedIn.
All of Pinterest, everywhere.
Pinterest. Oh yeah, I'm on Pinterest too. So yeah, all with shared content. So anyway, this was great today. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Enjoy the rest of your night. I'm here. What time is it? It's 3:01. I went out last night. I shouldn't have done that. Look at my Facebook page. You'll see where I was. But yeah, so enjoy your evening or whenever you're watching this. Thanks for watching, and opt in for our reduced cost and free strategy calls. And let's get you guys moving and making more money. So
absolutely. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.